whenever you're ready.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Presbyterian Women's Program Series. I'm stepping in this month for Julie McGrath, PW's program chair, as she is working with the General Assembly today. As Julie has mentioned to you before, this year our program committee focused on two major themes. The committee worked to put together a lineup of speakers that are particularly relevant in these times of major change in our lives. Speakers who could address and hopefully help us with the stress we might be experiencing through this pandemic, and those who could inform and guide us toward a deeper understanding of racism and how we as a group might begin to heal wounds that are centuries old. This month, Neely Barnhart is our chair of the day, and she will introduce our speakers in just a moment. While Kennedy George and Ava Holloway are quite possibly the youngest speakers to ever present a program to PW, their talent, heart, and message have propelled these girls to international prominence, and we are very, very lucky to have them here with us today. As we've done with previous speakers, we encourage you to ask questions through today's discussion by typing them into the chat function or the Q&A function that you can see at the bottom of your Zoom screen. Neely and I will collect your questions as we go along. I do want you to know we need to be keenly aware of time today, since our speakers are students who must return to class, which granted is on their laptops and not in person, but class nonetheless. But we do hope to have time for a few questions toward the end. While we have all traditionally enjoyed seeing and sharing with our friends during and after the luncheons in the fellowship hall in the past, these are different times, aren't they? In November and December, we hosted post-program get-togethers, and honestly, we've received very enthusiastic comments from many of you about those. We really appreciate the follow-up emails to let us know that it's working. When you received the link to this program meeting from me, you also received in that same email a link to a post-presentation Zoom meeting. I'll host that, so I'll be the one who will be admitting you, but Neely's going to facilitate that Zoom. You'll be able to see and hear each other as you chat with friends and discuss a couple of questions that Neely will have as follow-up to today's presentation. So when we sign off, take a quick break and then rejoin us for a chance to discuss what Ava and Kennedy's message meant to you. You will also, thanks to Wilson, see the Zoom link address at the top of the chat stream and can sign on that way. Speaking of Wilson, with the restrictions related to COVID still up in the air, everything that PW is doing this year remains a work in progress. The program committee owes a huge thank you to Carolyn Wright and Wilson Kennedy for helping us as our technology guides this season. Thanks again for joining us today, and I'm now going to turn things over to Neely Barnhart.
Kennedy George and Ava Holloway are our guest speakers today. They are ballerinas that are using their art to affect change. They have co-founded, along with Sophia Chambliss and Shania Gordon, Brown Ballerinas for Change, whose purpose is to use ballet to promote activism, social justice, and to increase diversity in the arts by providing annual scholarships, a mentor network, and community programs to empower young dancers. Ava has participated in a variety of dance workshops throughout the country and has found purpose in justice seeking through dance. She aspires to be a doctor and dreams of saving lives. She enjoys hanging out with her friends and making crazy dances, and recently co-authored a book, My Ancestors' Wildest Dreams. Kennedy believes in equality, diversity, inclusion, and empowering girls to be change makers. Kennedy has a passion for dance and spends her summers attending intensives around the country. In her free time, she enjoys time with her friends, playing with her dog Bentley, watching Netflix, and decorating her room. Kennedy aspires to be a professional dancer as well as study aquatic veterinary medicine. These young ladies have been invited to be interviewed by numerous media outlets after their photos at the Robert E. Lee statue went viral. Most recently, they were invited by John Legend to appear in his music video for the song We Will Never Break. We will begin our session with a video of Ava and Kennedy dancing.
Having a buffering technology issue. It'll be just 1 second. I'm so sorry. Give it just 1 more second. And what we may need to do is give this time to buffer all the way through. We may need to come back to the video at the end. But I'll just give it another minute and see if we'll have some success here or not. Double check my Wi-Fi connection. So what we'll do, if it's okay, we'll just go ahead and plan to do it at the end, and I'm going to let it buffer some more, and I'm so sorry about that. So if we want to go ahead and go over to Ava and Kennedy, and then we'll come back to this at the end.
Can you guys hear me okay? Okay. I'm just going to, oh no, wait. Can I not share my screen on here?
Let me see, let me make you a co-host. You should be able to now.
Okay, perfect. Here we go, share. And there we go. Okay. This is Dancing Forward Together, Using Your Gifts to Promote Change by me and Kennedy, of course.
Who we are. Today I'm here with Ava and myself, and we are the CEOs and co-founders of Brown Ballerinas for Change, also known as BBFC. Our mission is to help create advocacy, social justice, and to increase participation of underrepresented populations in ballet. Along with that is our vision, and we are change makers, we are dancer-led, and our purpose is to use ballet to promote activism, social justice, and to increase diversity in the arts by providing annual scholarships, mentor network, and community programs to empower young dancers.
Summer of Activism. So this is a little bit about how we got started and how it all unraveled. So first, as some of you may know, our governor, Northam, had announced the removal of the General Robert E. Lee Monument, which is located downtown. So naturally, I wanted to go take a photo shoot to capture a historical moment. And me and my mom went down there the next morning to just get a couple pictures before we would see what has been our history for so long kind of fade away. So after my mom took those pictures, they got a little bit of recognition, and a photographer named Marcus Ingram reached out to us and just wanted to take my picture in the early morning the next day. So basically when I arrived, Kennedy just happened to be there, and none of this was actually planned at all. And it was just kind of a chance encountering, if that makes sense. And while we were at the statue taking pictures with Marcus, a photographer named Julia Rendelman, who we later found out works for Reuters, had came up to us and wanted to take our picture as well. So before we had even left the statue, she had taken our picture and it had been shared thousands of times just through their page. And so since then, we have been to many peaceful protests where we typically perform a dance we've been working on for the week, or we sometimes speak. And I have also written a book with my mom called My Ancestors' Wildest Dreams, and we've done media tours, countless interviews, and just a couple other things. So hopefully in the future, we hope to have changemaker programs, also known as an ambassador program. The girl with the blue lipstick in the picture that is directly next to me is actually a senior in high school. So we hope to branch out Brown Ballerinas for Change to hopefully college students next year, depending on where she goes. So we just want to raise awareness through social media the best that we can, because during this global pandemic, social media has been just a great form of, a great way to use your voice.
Here are a deeper description of the timeline of events. So on June 4th, our Governor Northam ordered the removal of the Lee Monument. The next day, Ava's mom, Miss Amanda, took family photos of Ava on point, and they started to go viral. Later that day, Marcus Ingram, a local photographer, offered to take professional pictures of Ava after seeing mom's pictures. The next day, a chance encounter with me and Ava. During the photo shoot with Marcus, Julia Rendelman walked by and asked if she could take additional pictures along with questions asked. We later found out Julia works as a freelance photojournalist for Reuters, and once shared our photo, went insanely viral. Lastly, BBFC was formed in July and made official, and Ava's book was published, My Ancestors' Dreams.
So now we have a quick little video, and then this is just a little bit more of the stuff that we've done. So we have been interviewed by the New York Times. Vogue Greece had us on their page for a little bit. I don't really know how accessible it is anymore, but I know in June we were an image that could be seen on their page, and also we've been interviewed by Inside Edition. So this also might have an ad, so let's just hope that doesn't happen.
Ava, if you'll unmute yourself, then we'll be able to hear the clip when it starts.
Welcome back. This morning, we're continuing our series, Using Our Voice, where we're highlighting young people at the heart of the current fight for social justice. Well, Ava Holloway and Kennedy George are two incredibly talented 14-year-old ballerinas whose images went viral after they took their talents off the stage and into the street. Take a look.
When I'm dancing, I feel it's though I'm like my own alter ego, and I'm just living my best life.
It's any way for me to get my emotions out. For more than 10 years, best friends Ava Holloway and Kennedy George have been dancing side by side.
We're like a good outlet for each other. We become our better selves when we're with each other.
But despite all the performances and full ensembles, Ava and Kennedy say being a ballerina of color can often feel like dancing alone.
We had to have skin tone point shoes. I had to go to the store and find a foundation to find my perfect skin color, and I had to put it on in layers. You kind of question if you should be there, if you get the same chances as anybody else.
Across the country, as protests surge, a monument in Ava and Kennedy's hometown of Richmond, Virginia, took center stage.
We're taking it down.
We kind of just thought of it as like a historical moment that we needed to record.
Dressed in tutus and point shoes, the two posed in front of the Robert E. Lee Monument with local photographer Marcus Ingram.
The message hidden in the pictures are just that you can protest in different ways. You don't always have to be on the front lines in all the rallies, but choosing your own art and expressing it through your gift is a great thing to do.
It was just so empowering.
Little did they know that day in June would change their lives.
The reason that I wanted to protest was to show that, yes, Black Lives Matter in the world, but also in the dance community, where you definitely don't see a lot of them.
Photojournalist Julia Rindelman was documenting the protests when the Ballerinas caught her eye. With their mother's blessing, Julia snapped a few frames, and overnight, the photo went viral. It caught the attention of celebrities too, including John Legend and country icons now known as the Chicks.
It's mind-blowing. It's just, it feels like a dream almost. It's just kind of crazy that people received our message and thought that others could also, add on to it.
But despite their newfound fame, Ava and Kennedy say this is part of a much bigger movement.
I think it's important to keep going because once you get this much recognition, it's a lot of stuff you can do with the power you have, and not let this be like 15 minutes of fame or just a moment, but make this a movement and be a part of something bigger.
I normally don't speak up about stuff, but this moment right here, it definitely has started the activism even more, and I'm definitely even more not afraid to say what I think.
As they head into their freshman year of high school, Ava and Kennedy are showing no signs of slowing down.
These photos have definitely changed my life. We're activists in a way, and we're young activists, which you don't see very often.
The thing with this generation is that we are really powerful. We are definitely taking this on very strong and head first, and we're not afraid of anything.
Ava and Kennedy aren't stopping there. The two are starting a nonprofit. They're calling it Brown Ballerinas for Change. And they actually asked the photographer who took that viral picture to sit on their board. Meanwhile, the Robert E. Lee statue in Richmond has not yet been taken down as a result of several court injunctions. Welcome back. This morning, we're continuing our series.
Okay, so there was an interview that we did a little earlier into it. And yeah, so since then, we've done a bunch of other things. And here is a little bit more of our experiences. These are some of the pictures that were taken by employees that work for Nike. Nike had reached out to us and just wanted to do a campaign, and there's a bunch of other people in the campaign that can be seen, and these are just a couple of the pictures that were taken on that day. And then we've done some other photo shoots. With this one was specifically with Richmond Times-Dispatch, and this was taken by Julia Rindelman in one of our, I think this was the second or third photo shoot that we did. Okay, My Ancestors' Wildest Dreams. So this is the book that me and my mom wrote, and here's a little girl holding the book. So this book was inspired by me and Kennedy, two ballerinas, and our photos were taken by Marcus Ingram and Julia Rindelman in front of the monument of Confederate General Robert E. Lee in Richmond, Virginia. Ultimately, these photographs went viral, and this moment propelled the duo into a summer of activism in dance. Posed in traditional ballet attire, the friends had no idea that the chance encounter at the Lee Monument would catapult them into the spotlight while serving as the beacon of hope for millions of young activists around the world. And yeah.
So this mural you see here was done by Nico Cathcart and Monty Montgomery. They reached out to us and asked, in hope of looking for one girl to be the eye of their mural, basically. We thought we all wanted to do it and partake in it because we wanted a ballerina for the Brown Ballerinas for Change. We wanted someone to represent us and all of us together. So we got together and took photos. And so what you see in this mural is pieces of everyone together and looking up to an eagle, which I'll use in her words, are This piece is a gift of appreciation to the girls of Brown Ballerinas for Change, sponsored by Dogtown Dance Leader and RVA Toolbank and Emmy Esther, and contains all 4 ballerinas unified together in a graceful jump. A nod to the uplifting energy the girls have gifted the country since the summer. They are looking towards a brighter future, a fitting way to end 2020 and start what we hope is a brighter year in 2021. There is so much work to be done, but we have come so far. Here are 9 ways you can engage in activism as well. We can educate others, advocate for legislation, run for a school or local office, create a public awareness campaign that includes social media, do a survey about the issue and share the results with your community, raise money for a cause, and lastly, write a letter to a company.
Activism, mindful movement, and dance. So infusing activism, mindful movement, and dance, we focus on social justice by examining the social justice, breath, body, sound, and story. We draw from our own experiences and energy to tell a story through dance. So as we have mentioned, dance was our way of protest instead of being in the front lines. And just by using the gifts that you were given, you can accomplish so much. So then we have a couple engagement questions, and they are, how can you use your voice to promote change? And what are ways you can make a change in the community? / how can you achieve that goal? And here are some final resources, and I can definitely type those questions in the chat. And that is the end of our presentation.
Girl,
Go ahead,
go ahead, Neely. I was just going to say, I noticed someone asked the question, where exactly is that striking mural located?
So the mural is located on Granby in West Main, I believe. It's right across, well, if you drive down the street, you'll see a blue mural first, and then if you keep going, it's on the side of this big building by the Visual Arts Center.
Okay.
Oh, visual arts. Okay. So, and then also a question came in. Someone has asked, how long have y'all been dancing together?
Me and Ava have been dancing together 10 years now, since we were 4. That's where we met.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and our siblings used to dance together before us, so yeah.
And what about your co-founders, Sophia and Shania? How long ago did y'all meet them?
We met them a little later. I believe Shania came 7 or 8 years ago. She started dancing when she was 7, and now she's 15. So I think she came to our studio first. And then Sophia, she used to dance at Richmond Urban Dance, but then became full-time at our studio. So I'm not really quite sure when, but I believe it had to be like 6, 7 years ago.
Okay, great. I've got another question. Tell us where you go to school and what are you studying? Y'all are in 9th grade this year?
Yes.
Okay.
I go to school at, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I go to school at Henrico High School. I'm in the Center for the Arts program for dance, so that's what I'm studying.
I go to St. Catherine's, and I also take dance, but it's not really my focus at school. I only have 1 dance class, and just hopefully gonna be a doctor, as was mentioned before. So I'm really interested in my sciences, and right now taking honors chemistry. So yeah.
Wow, honors chemistry. That's great. So tell us, I mean, you've explained to us the vision y'all have for BBFC. Tell us some about some of the board members you have and how y'all are doing fundraising and getting these programs going.
So our board members consist of my mom, who is our president, I believe, and we have Kennedy's mom, who is our treasurer, and then we have Shania's mom, who is our secretary. And then along with that, we have one of our dance teachers, Anne, who we've been dancing with since we were 3 and 4. And then we have Brandy, who is our main choreographer. Then we have Sheena Jeffers, who is also another one of our dance teachers. And then we have both the photographers that took the pictures, which are Marcus Ingram and Julia Rendelman. And then we have one of our dance teacher sons, whose name is Ethan Lynn. And then me, Kennedy, and Shania and Sophia are all on board too.
So what are some of the fundraising opportunities y'all have had?
Okay, I don't think we've had any recently or yet, but we have started this like closet thing where we collect or are donated clothes and items for dance so that we can put them in a closet for people who need it.
Okay.
Yes, I think we've also done a couple of t-shirts or hoodie fundraisers as well.
And do you have I remember seeing that one of the purposes or one of your visions is to have mentors for dancers. So do you have a lot of volunteerism involved in that?
So right now with COVID, it's kind of tough to kind of get a kickstart since we are a new organization, but we have applied for a bunch of different grants, and hopefully this will be enough that we can hire a dance teacher and just give dance classes to people that wouldn't be able to afford them otherwise. And also me and Kennedy have a scholarship kind of through Brown Girls Do Ballet, where it is awarded to whoever. It's been awarded to 2 dancers so far, but basically I think it's a $200 or $500 scholarship that's awarded to dancers of color that wouldn't be able to dance otherwise.
Great. Wilson, we've been asked if we could put the link up for the John Legend music video so that people could see that as well.
Working on it right now, Neely.
Okay, great. So you saw that. I'm looking at a couple of questions here. So this is great. What was it like when y'all first took your pictures? Ava, you did yours first, and then when y'all were there together, that must have seemed like a surreal moment, because here the two of y'all have been so close so long, and then I personally don't ever believe in coincidence. I don't think there's any possible way that it was happenstance that the two of y'all showed up at the exact same time with the exact same thoughts. So walk us through that. What did that feel like when you both were there?
So for me, it was just really empowering, and just for myself, we definitely didn't know that these were going to go viral or crazy, and it's just really surreal and just mind-blowing to see how much of an effect you can have on other people and how much of a change you can really make just by being yourself and doing what you love. And so it was just amazing. Also at the statue, it's like you go out there and you get inspired by so many different artists and people who are just doing what they love and speaking for what they believe in. And it's just, I think it's just like everybody comes together and it's unity, and it's amazing to see.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what she said. I feel like when we were out there, I could definitely see the community come together, no matter their races, sizes, shapes, no matter like what was going on. Everyone was just kind of there for each other, and it was kind of cool to see how Richmond came together.
Yeah, I think it's great. And again, I agree with both of y'all in saying that it's amazing what change you can make doing the things, the gifts that God has given you that you love to do, and how you use that. You don't, not everybody has to be a rocket scientist to make, so we can get to the moon. You take the gifts that God has given you and you use that for his purpose. And I think that's just a great sentiment. And there's a reason why both of y'all are so passionate about dance. This is something God is calling y'all to do, and he's gifted you with what you need to do it. And I think it's just great that y'all are embracing that. Someone has asked the question, you were talking about, one of y'all was talking about having to buy point shoes and then going to find foundation to color it this color of your skin. Have y'all seen a change in that area in your shoes or tights or whatever parts of your dance costumes you need? Have you seen a change in that?
Yeah, recently, new point shoes that come with your skin color and you don't have to brush it on or put makeup on it. I just came out and I just got some actually, and I really love them, and they're really nice, and it's really exciting to see when you can see things change, and it's just really nice that you're a part of it and are able to gift like the future as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. All ballerinas know that ballet is about lines, and it's about just really being very graceful and just about your extensions. So when there's something that breaks that line, it's not really, it's not as amazing as it could be. So with them coming out with the skin tone tights and the skin tone point shoes, I think ballet will change for the better, which is, everything can always change for the better. There's always improvement. So yeah.
That's great. So I have a comment. This isn't a question, but someone said, "You ladies rock," in capital letters with an exclamation point. So, and then another comment, "Such poised young lady," with another exclamation point. So thank y'all for that. Somebody asked the question, have you been influenced by Misty Copeland? Is that someone that has inspired y'all?
For me, most definitely. I have a lot of role models, especially along with Debbie Allen, Michaela DePrince. It's just exciting to see more and more people every year and every day. And it's just, I feel like ballet is definitely predominantly white right now, and that's where it came from. So when you see it changing and seeing people who look like you is really inspiring, and it just makes you think that you can do it as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I believe Misty Copeland actually shared it on Twitter, which was really cool to see how it was like the recognition it was getting from different celebrities that were just involved.
Great. Somebody has asked, what's the name of the studio where you dance? They have taught you well.
Thank you. We dance at Central Virginia Dance Academy. And yeah.
Well, they must be very proud. Let me see, what else have we got here?
Neely, here's a good one. I think St. Catherine's has been meeting in person this year, but I think Henrico's been meeting virtually. How have your new roles impacted the way you and your classmates interact? What do they think of your fame?
Well, I think everyone, it's just about having a lot more conversations. And as you speak of that, I actually have a chapel talk tomorrow, kind of with the middle schoolers, just about the whole summer. And also speaking of that, I think one of my classmates was actually the way I connected to this in the first place. And Sloan texted me, and then it was just like, yeah, it's everything. It's kind of cool how you can have connections to people, and how there's things that have changed our lives, that, and now we've done so many things that we might not have done if we didn't go and take those pictures?
For me, a lot of my friends were texting me and letting me know a lot of the things that I saw online and before I even realized that it was going crazy. So that's exciting. And yeah, definitely the connections, knowing people and being able to get that support from people who don't even like really know you is amazing. And it's really inviting and welcoming. And yeah, of course we get some criticism here and there, but with the good comes the bad, and we focus on positivity all the time.
That's great. Anything else, Blair, that I'm not seeing any other?
No,
I do have
A note from somebody. Congratulations to you both, your intelligence and creativity in building a community that is open to all. Someone passed along the message. So humbled by you talented young ladies. I wish you the best for the future.
Kennedy and Ava, we're so grateful for your presence here today. You have opened our eyes and given us much, much to think about, while also allowing us a glimpse into your beautiful world of ballet. Thank you. The Presbyterian women of First Presbyterian wish both of you, as you continue with your school year, the very best success. And I would say personally, and I'm sure I'm speaking for everyone based on the comments, your two schools are, and the Richmond community are blessed to have such wonderful ambassadors. Thank you. And Kennedy, I hope we kept you long enough so maybe you don't have to go to math, since I know that was not something you were looking forward to, but I do want to be respectful of your time and just say thank you again.
Yes, thank you for having us. This was really fun and nice.
Thank you guys so much.
Next month, we hope you will join us on February 2nd, when Neely will again be our chair of the day, and she'll be introducing Kathy Earhart, Director of Advocacy for Feed More, an organization that I know most of you are familiar with. Kathy's program is entitled, What's Cooking? Serving the Richmond Community. But for now, we invite you to grab your lunch or a cup of tea, and in about 10 minutes, come to our post-program Zoom for a little fellowship and an opportunity to reflect on today's very special program. I would like to close today with one of my favorite poems by Anne Weems. As we contemplate the Magi following the star on the eve of Epiphany, this is my prayer for each of you. What I'd really like to give you for Christmas is a star. Brilliance in a package. Something you could keep in the pocket of your jeans or in the pocket of your being. Something to take out in times of darkness. Something that would never snuff out or tarnish. Something you could hold in your hand. Something for wonderment. Something for pondering. Something that would remind you of what Christmas has always meant. God's Advent light into the darkness of this world. But stars are only God's forgiving, and I must be content to give you words and wishes and packages without stars. But I can wish you life as radiant as the star that announces the Christ child's coming, and as filled with awe as the shepherds who stood beneath its light. And I can pass on to you the love that has been given to me, ignited countless times by others who have knelt in Bethlehem's light. Perhaps if you ask, God will give you a star. Heavenly Father, I would ask that you be with each member of PW and with her family in this new year. As we move from Advent and Christmas to Epiphany, help us to keep the wonder of the star in our hearts. Let hope, peace, joy, and love guide us in all of our encounters. And may we always make doing your work a reflection of the light of the world. In Christ's name, amen.